All right, so we're joined by Blaise Biringer, Jasmine Perezchica, Olivia DiNardo, and Allie Skaggs. If you want to open up for questions.
Liv, the Summer Collegiate League, what'd you get from them?
I got a lot of, I feel like, playing experience and getting to go back to kind of like my roots as a player, and it was really nice to play competitively with a bunch of other really good players, and I think it's a really good opportunity for a lot of freshmen that are looking for like time at their position or more at bats and stuff like that, so I really enjoyed it.
Being with AB out there, was that, like, did you guys get to work together?
Yeah, so we actually lived together, which was really fun, and get to know her that way. And then playing together, I caught her every game, so we got like that battery, and I got a really good sense of like knowing when to slow down the game for her and stuff like that. But it gave me a lot of time to work with her as well. Yes.
Well, for you two seniors, or three seniors, what are you going in wanting this year?
Yeah, honestly, I think there's two sides to it. We want to win. Ultimately, that's our goal. We want to win. We want to go as far as we can. And then at the end of the day, too, I think for a lot of us, like this is potentially like our last season of playing, or if we want to continue playing on, but you never know. But just enjoying it every single game that we get to play, not being too focused on results or outcomes, and just enjoying like being together. And this is a really cool opportunity for us to just, for the next 5-6 months, we get to be with the people that we've been with for the last 4 years, which is really cool, and just enjoying it and kind of taking it all in because, I mean, like I said, it's kind of coming to the winding down side, so just enjoying it and kind of taking in every minute.
Jasmine, what was the reaction inside the group to not making the postseason last year, becoming that first team not to do it in ages, and how you guys wanted to take that and galvanize yourselves for this season?
Honestly, I think we're all shocked. I mean, I think we played our hearts out, and I feel like it just gives us more fire to be better this year. And we kind of all talked at the end and just, reflected on the season, and I think we're just going to be back and better.
And Allie, describe what it was like watching the selection show and not seeing your name come up.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it's not something that we would want or ever expect. I think it's like Jazz said, like we played our hearts out, especially toward the end. We were really feeling like we were kind of bonded as a team, and we knew that if we were sent anywhere, we were going to compete. And so it was disappointing, and it kind of lit a little bit of a fire under us and saying like that's unacceptable, that can't happen. And so this year we're coming back, and we kind of understand now what the process of the year looks like. We can't take any games for granted. Like we know that we have to take advantage of every game that we play in order to make the postseason. It's not just given.
Blaise, all three of you seniors have some kind of ties to the state of Arizona or Southern Arizona specifically. What's it been like for you to play near home and have this time for the last 3 years?
I think it's super special. I think playing in front of my family and friends and then having a senior class who are kind of tied into Tucson is really special. It kind of bonds us closer together, and just playing for something bigger than ourselves and performing for our city, and I think it's really special. So it's been really good this year, and I'm excited for one more year of performing in front of my family and friends, so I'm really excited.
Blaise, what did you make of Allie going through an entire season without committing an error?
Oh my gosh, I'm not surprised. I am a huge fan of Allie Skaggs. I think playing defense with her is amazing, and of course I'm not surprised because she is an amazing athlete, and I'm just so proud of her, and just playing next to her is like a great opportunity, and I just love playing next to her.
Has she allowed you to touch the gold glove trophy?
Not yet, actually. I think I'm gonna have to go over to her house and touch the glove because I really want to.
Well, I don't really bring it around. I don't like to show it off. I feel like I don't want to do that to them.
Pressure and trying to extend that streak now into this season?
Not extremely. Obviously, I would like to. I mean, it'd be great to go through with another zero-error season, but honestly, that's the game of softball. That's what happens on defense. Like, if to go through a season with zero is kind of on one end just incredible. Like, it just doesn't happen. And so, you can't stress about it because the more that I think about it and try not to make errors, the more that it's going to happen and the more tight I'm going to be. So I just want to go play the game again, and then whatever happens, happens.
Liv, that sophomore class is big, and you guys have a few juniors, but next year you won't have a lot of senior leadership. So how are you preparing to, be a leader?
Yeah, I think the sophomore class as a whole, like, we're fired up and we're ready to go. Like, I think last year, obviously, our freshman year not going the way we wanted it to, it lit a fire under not only the sophomore class, the whole team, but it gives us a good perspective to watch the leaders we have around us and build off them, build off the tradition, the legacy. And I know our sophomore class, as well as the whole team, really feels that legacy and the traditions that have been built here. And we want to, I guess, embody that in our leadership style and bring everybody on the boat and get ready to go, I think, and just kind of working like that.
For Liv, as one of the catchers on the team, you've seen kind of firsthand the new approach to pitching. How would you describe what has changed or what the new staff is trying to accomplish on that?
I would say our new staff is doing a really good job at letting our defense work. We have a really good defense this year, so kind of like playing into situations like that, getting ground balls, getting pop-ups, keeping the ball in the park this year. And then from a staff point of view, I know we have a bunch of new technology and we use the Rapsodo a lot, so our pitchers are getting all that data, the spins and all that type of stuff. And I think it's cool seeing how Christian works because he sits and he looks at like all their spin ratios and all this crazy stuff, and I sit and like he tells about it and like it just like kind of boggles our mind trying to figure it out. But it's really cool information that we're getting back this year.
And are there any pitchers that you've seen make a jump over the last, 5-6 months?
I think all of our pitchers have made a big jump, but especially Brooke Manning and Aisa Silva, just because like Brooke being a freshman coming in and just kind of earning her role a little bit and like showing what she has to prove to us, and then she's done a really good job of that. And then Aisa Silva obviously being a returner who I've caught last year, this year, and just her confidence and command on the mound and how she like brings that, like she wants that energy and she wants that for her team. So it's a really cool jump for both of them.
Allie, how did Caitlin kind of explain to the group the decision to move on from Taryn?
It was kind of just, it was time to see if we could see if there was a change for us, but we just wanted to see what kind of a new brain could bring in, and I think that Christian's doing a great job so far, and our pitching staff has really bought in. I know that like Coach T, we love her. We don't have any bad things to say, and I think that Christian's doing a great job kind of filling the shoes, and I think just getting a new perspective and seeing if we can get that to work a little bit more for us too.
When you look at this early schedule, a lot of tournaments early on, how does that kind of prepare you to face a lot of different things throughout the year? Because you're not starting the season with seeing the same team 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I think it's great for us just to get at-bats, get live reads on defense, seeing the different type of teams we're going to play. It's nice. With the Pac-12, it's nice because you get to see the same team every single time, but I like our preseason tournaments because we're playing teams that we never get to play, which is really cool. And especially, like, I'll just go ahead and vouch, like, we're going back to Louisville, which is really cool for me and Coach Josh Bloomer, and so we get to play a team. I have yet to play them in my collegiate career, and so that this is something that's really cool, and to go back and do it as a homecoming, too. We just get to play a different caliber of teams that we don't get to see on the daily once we hit, like, March or April, yeah.
Allie, were you on the team that went to Tuscaloosa the last time and played on?
No, I was not on that team. Yeah.
You guys have been in the SEC environment, so what can you tell the freshmen and players that haven't been through that what to expect?
Yeah, they're gritty too, but I mean, I think the Pac-12 has done a great job preparing us. I mean, I think that the SEC all around, they're incredible programs as well, but I think that the Pac-12 prepares us to go into any opponent. So it's really just, I think like it's just being prepared for facing another really top tier opponent. And so I don't really think that the SEC teams are like extremely different from the Pac. I think you're going to have talent up and down the lineup. So either way, as long as we're prepared to face obviously solid pitching, but we see that too kind of on a daily with the Pac-12 too.
Allie, you have your plaque next to a bunch of other names throughout the history of the softball program. Just, is there any more added significance knowing that it's the 50th year, and is there anything more to that?
Yeah, well, that's the University of Arizona. It's such a traditional program. There's so much history and so much like legacy with it, and I think that, I mean, our team, we're just trying to carry that on, and especially being the 50th year, that's really, really cool that we get to be a part of it, and especially like the senior class going out with the 50th year. I think that we've been able to see a lot of really cool stuff with the University of Arizona, and we got to play for Coach Kendrea his last year, which is really cool, and then kind of just moving on now and trying to continue and pass on the legacy to the younger ones here too.
For all 4 of you, who have you gotten as your historic jersey number, and how have you connected with them? I'm just going to go down the line, and you each can take me through it.
Yeah, so I got Laura Espinosa. It's a cool story. I used to play for her in club ball. I played with her on the Thundercats, so it's really cool that I get to reach out to her again and just kind of talk to her about her experience here because I've never got that chance to ask her about it. So I think it's going to be a super cool opportunity just to talk about her with her career and how she liked it here and what she remembers being at the University of Arizona. So that'd be cool.
I had Stacy Chambers, and I was telling Kate the other day, it's such a funny story because I hit in Phoenix with my dad during the summer, and she teaches lessons there sometimes. And I remember one of the workers oh, this ex-Arizona softball player wants to meet you, and I didn't know who it was exactly at the time. And then it happened to be Stacy Chambers, and I thought it was the funniest story how we both wore 21, and we both have different games, but at the end of the day, I'm sharing her legacy. So.
I had Brandy Shiver and then obviously Caitlin Lowe, and I feel like that's a really cool thing for me, for both players actually, because I wanted to wear 26 for Kate. I came here for Kate, so that's really cool that now I get to play for her and I also get to learn about her. I get to go sit in her office and ask her questions, which is cool. And then obviously also having Brandy Shiver and only having 2 people that ever wore 26 besides me is also extremely cool.
Yeah, I picked Lauren Young. She graduated 2016, and I picked her brain just a little bit about just kind of her career as well. And it's cool because we've actually been put in contact with all the people that we picked. So I got to have a couple of text exchanges with Lauren and just kind of picked her brain about, especially being a senior. I was like, hey, if you could go back and change anything, what would you do? And she kind of hit me with the perspective of just enjoy it. I wish I wouldn't have been so worried about outcomes and results of at-bats and fielding percentage and all that stuff. So it was cool to just hear from someone that was telling me kind of what I've been kind of getting at too as a senior.
For Jazz, just in your conversation with Stacy, did she talk to you about what she went through in terms of the brain injury here and what it took for her to come back from that?
I have physically not talked to her about that recently. I met her briefly once when I was hitting in the cage with my dad, but I'm going to reach out to her sometime soon, but I haven't been able to yet.
And for Olivia, just, what's the pressure like to wear the number of your head coach? To have to live up to that legacy.
Well, it's funny because in travel ball, I wore number 1, and then I remember talking to Kate when I came in and being like, I don't have a number, I don't know what number to choose, and she was like, well, 26 is on the table, and I kind of joked around and being like, I'm not going to wear 26, that was your number, why would I, change that, legacy, I guess, and, history, and she was like, no, wear it, I think it'll be good, and so, I just kind of embodied that, she's an All-American, she's an Olympian, that fires me up every day, getting to put her number on and go out to the ball field and be like, let's go do this, so it's really cool.
For all of you, talk about the Olympics, it being back in and what it means to you.
You're all looking at me. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's unfortunate that we don't have it anytime sooner, but I think it's a really cool opportunity. There's so many great players that get to go showcase what they have on a national or international level as well, and 2028 can't come soon enough for us, yeah.
What you just said about, all the things you worried about, the numbers and all that last year, was that part of the reason why you felt you needed to take the step back last year? And do you feel you're more prepared to deal with those situations this year?
Yeah, I think it's just having a new perspective and just really, like I was talking about earlier, we only have so much time left playing this game. And so I think just having the perspective of enjoying it, even the highs and lows, ride them evenly, and just kind of taking each day, not taking anything for granted, and just making sure that I kind of stay steady. And still at the end of the day, when I leave the field, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to be worried and kind of swamped down with the performance side as much as I want to perform, and I think the entire team will do a great job this year. It's just the mental side of not hanging too much of my self-worth and anything with that.
You guys were right in the middle of fall ball as your dad's team was doing amazing things. What was that like for you to sort of be on the field here? And I was imagining there was some overlap in some of their games in October as they were doing what they did and getting to see, his career get to that level as you guys are getting ready for this season.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's the World Series. Can't get much better than that. But it was funny because I'd have weights, and then I'd go to practice, and then I'd drive up to Phoenix really quick to go see all their postseason games. But just sharing that experience with my family, I think it taught me a lot about how sports isn't so much about performance, but it's about the people that have been around you and people that care about you. For example, I've seen my dad from the beginning to now, and just to see where he's become and where he's at now is just incredible. And I get emotional thinking about it because I feel like yesterday I was 10 years old running around Chase Field, and it's incredible to experience that with him.
We've got time for one or two more.
As someone who grew up in Southern Arizona, you've seen this program at such highs. This is the first year in a long time where you guys haven't been preseason ranked. Do you ignore that? Do you take it as motivation?
We take it as motivation. I think it just gives us more of a chip on our shoulder. I mean, this year we are determined to just go out there and compete, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to go out there and compete and go as hard as we can and to go at these teams.
Anything else? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't even see it.